Hey, what's up? And it's great to see you guys again for another installment of Chad's Perspectives. Now, you know the drill. Before we get into the perspectives, we have to have the introduction.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
So, first and foremost, I know it's been a while since I've dropped a perspectives video. They are by far my favorite videos to do, but I got to be honest with you, I've been ultra busy with a new gig, new job, a new normal. And in addition to that, I've been doing a ton of travel. I've been traveling all over the country. I've actually been to the other side of the globe, just making the best memories and doing everything I can to make 2025 one hell of a ride. Now, I have a tradition where I try to make every year better than the last, and that's in every way, shape, and form. And so far, 1 month in, or at least a month and a half in, 2025 is looking like it will not disappoint. But enough about me and enough about my adventures. Let's get into these perspectives. Now, let's talk about something that everyone feels like they already know, but I feel needs to be expounded on a little bit more. This is actually inspired by a video I saw from Luke of Luke's Points and Miles. He just put it out, and it was wild to me because I was thinking about it, and all of a sudden the video pops up. So feel free to check that video out. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description there. Shout out to Luke. And this is on sign up bonuses. It's one of the main reasons people get cards is sign up bonuses. Sign up bonuses are some of the greatest way to get a return on the spend that you spend on a credit card. You are actually hard pressed to find another way outside of offers and things that most people are going to look for to get the best return on their dollar. But hitting sign up bonuses is extremely important. They are not playing with their time frames. So you have to remember, when you buy things, don't wait until the last week, put a ton of spend on it, and pray to God it posts in time. Because when you make a purchase, yes, there's a pending purchase on your account, but when it posts, might not be that day. Depending on it, it may not be for the next couple of days. Remember, things are not instant. Now, this is definitely something you want to consider because I would hate to know and I would hate to experience missing a sub by a couple of dollars over a couple of days. So that is definitely something you want to keep in mind. But my perspective on how I attack subs and how I think other people should attack subs are based on three principles in a very specific order. And I will list them from least important to most important to me. So, number three, make sure you use a card for everything. It's sort of a no brainer because if you have to put this spend on it, if you use it for everything, that is the easiest way to hit the spend. But like I said, this is for me. There are people with very thick binders of credit cards and very robust credit card profiles who are really just monsters in the game. And they have a card set out for everything. So there might be cases where you might be leaving more on the table by using your sub card than using a card that's already in your lineup, especially if you have a goal in mind. And there's no reason to leave any of that money on the table. And we all know how I feel about leaving money on the table. Give me that. Now, here's the second one. This one lies flat in the middle, but it can be first depending on what's going on. But I'm going to put it in the middle just to be sure. Always, 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 always prioritize the highest multiplier on your new card. You got a new Amex Platinum card? Please try to make sure that the bulk of your spend is on airfare. You got a new Wells Fargo autograph card. Try to make sure that you use up the 3x at the supermarket. You got a new gold card. Use the 4x on restaurants. You got a new city card. Hey, if you have a great hotel stay you want to book through the city portal, might as well chew up that 10x. The whole point is that you want a contingency for a sub. So if you use the highest multiplier, you are guaranteeing yourself the most amount of points, the highest amount of return, period, whether you make the sub or not. Now, you never plan to not make a sub, but hey, life happens. Sometimes it will happen to you. It has happened to me. But the name of the game is to maximize a card to its highest degree So if you have these things and you know you're going to be using these multipliers, which are the highest, use this card for that to ensure that even if, like, let's take, for example, you have a spend of $4,000 that you have to hit in 3 months. If you have a card with a 5x multiplier, yeah, you can use it for everything and kind of whittle it down and average it out to about 2.13x a spend. And that's if you make the multiplier, or you can hit it hard, 5x each time. So this way, even without the sign up bonus, if it's a 5x card, $2,000 a spend, get you 10,000 points. Most domestic carriers, 10,000 points, that's a flight. And depending on some of the deals you have, it might be a round trip flight. But those deals right there are diamonds in the rough. But if you spend 3,000, that's 15,000 points. You get what I'm saying? You see where I'm going here? So you always want to prioritize the highest multipliers to really make your spend pack the best punch, especially when going for your subs. Beyond your sign up bonuses, I mean, you can, play fast and loose if you want to, but I would highly suggest that any card that you have, whatever it is famous for, go ahead and use it for that. That way you just get the most out of it. Now here's my number one thing. This is the most important part. When you are getting a new credit card, plan the spend. You want to put shutters. If you live here in South Florida like I do, and you want to put shutters in your house, the people who do that normally take a credit card. Get a new credit card for it. Also, homeowners insurance, get a new credit card for it. Now, we just had November, December pass, and here in Florida, coming up to the end of January, you can still pay your property tax. They accept credit cards. Get a new credit card for it. Your auto insurance, get a new credit card for it. Plan for this spend, especially things that you know you have to buy anyway. It is almost tax time. It is crossed January 31st. Everybody should be getting their W-2s, 1099s, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's fine. Are you going to pay someone to do your taxes? If you are, get a credit card for it. If you owe taxes, get a credit card for it. I think we all know where I'm going here. Plan your spend. Got a wedding coming up. Shout out to Jordan Rules. You know what I'm going to say, right? Get a credit card for it. Got a baby coming. You have all these things that you can do, and you can plan this spend and still not overspend, especially if these are things that are going to be necessities anyway. Just something to keep in mind, and that is why that's like one of my number one things. I like to make sure that I know that I have spend coming up. That way I can apply it to a new credit card, and that way I know which ones I can get. Most business cards require higher spend, so if you got big expenses coming up, that's another thing. You definitely want them to be business related. But then also some personal cards, depending on if they have elevated sign up bonuses, they may require a little more spend. And some of them, they just turn the dial here and there. So still, plan your spend. But those are my ideas on subs. Even if I don't tell you exactly what to do, you kind of get the general gist of what it is that you need to do to make sure you get that big juicy pile of points that they use to entice you to fill out the application anyway. Now, another perspective, and I've touched on this before, I've always told people to, get multiple ecosystems, get multiple things, never get boxed into one thing. And I'm going to say it again, I'm going to reiterate it again, but you must broaden your horizons. Broaden your view, whether it be credit card ecosystems. And now, because of the heightened travel that I'm doing, I now travel much more frequently for much shorter periods. But I've been trying new airlines, and some of them have shocked me. And that's a nod to United, and others have shocked me, which is JetBlue. In any case, you got to get out there and try new things. Connect through a different airport. Go to another lounge. It's okay. You need to. And I've said it before, but the thing was, I've said these things before knowing that I really like the Amex portal. When Chase is just good, City, I really like Delta, but I'm seeing things that I like with United, which I never really looked at before. So I have to apologize for, putting the bullshit meter in the red. I don't like my shirt. My shirt's red. Well, you get what you know what I'm saying. Try new things. Try a lot of things. All the time. It's okay. Even with your credit. You might find out that another issuer's platform might be the one for you, or it may reinforce what you already know and teach you how to use it in an even better way. And that's whether you travel, that's whether you cash back, whether you slide your card, whether you tap your phone. Don't get locked into one thing because, it's so boring. Now, this next perspective ties very close into the last one. Surround yourself with people who challenge your best held beliefs. In other words, if you find that you are an Amex fan to the max, talk to people who like Chase. It's not that they're doing it wrong, they're just doing it different. Now, it's harder to just change on a dime, but definitely when you surround yourself with people with different ideas who are still responsible, who still have responsible credit and money habits, who can show you a different route, I say always explore it. If you are a Hyatt devotee, let somebody who knows their way around Hilton show you what's going on. You know what I mean? If you are all about IHG, don't be ashamed to hang out with the guys who've been bonvoyed here but are still sticking strong with the program. And you know where I'm going with this. Amex, Chase, Capital One, Citi. Look at different things, and it ties into broadening your horizons because you want to learn, you want to learn, you want to learn. And this is about surrounding yourself with the people who can facilitate that. It's one thing to have the action, but you need the inspiration. And other people who obviously have your best interests at heart, you definitely want to hang around them and get that going. So here's another perspective, and this is about explaining the points and miles game. Now, I don't know about you guys, whether it's other creators watching this or people who are just enthusiasts, but you always have people come to you asking you, oh man, how do you do that? Or they assume, as a matter of fact, on my last trip, my wife actually had somebody text her and asked her, what do you do for a living to be able to do what it is that you do? Not realizing that I think she makes more than my wife does, I think. And honestly, we're, we're doing the same thing that you're doing, just trying to make it. You know what I mean? We're trying to make it through the day, being responsible, raising our kids, and going about life, but we're just doing it in a way that affords us grand vacations and enjoying the things that a lot of people tend to be priced out of. So when you want to explain the points and miles game, this is something that I do. This is something you definitely want to try because you also do not want to be constantly explaining the points and miles game to people who, they want the result, but they don't want the work. So that's why I lead with the work. Are you disciplined? Can you use a credit card for every single purchase and pay it on time? Can you pay your balances in full? Can you pay your balances at least, even if you carry a balance, can you pay your grace period balance in order to avoid interest? Or are you going to overspend? Can you do that? Or are you going to floss and flex? Can you do that? Can you remember every single time that when you go to the supermarket, you use your Saver card? Every single time. I don't care if it's a pack of gum or 2 carts full of groceries. Can you remember that every single time, once a month at least, you got to go to Dunkin' Donuts and use your gold card and get that credit and the Forex points? Can you remember all of these things? Can you build a collection, a dynamic collection of credit cards in order to then finance a trip around the world or to the other side of the world or to an aspirational place that if were you to pay for it with cash, they would probably look at you like you're crazy because you wouldn't even make it through the front door? Can you do that? So if you're trying to explain this game to somebody, most people will focus on the results because the results are fun. But can they focus on the 11 months of work that you did to have an awesome 2 weeks at the end of the year? Can they? That's 50 weeks for 2. And that's all the spend that you were going to make anyway. If they want to know more when they hear about the work, then you probably have something there. But most likely, you're going to hear somebody say, oh, wow. Oh, really? You have that many credit cards? La-di-da. And then you're not going to hear from them again, but they're going to watch for the next trip. So that is a perspective of mine. When you introduce this game to people, introduce it work first. The results will come only if the work is put in. So now for my YouTube perspective. And this is a special one. That's why I saved it for last. And only the folks who are supposed to know about this are going to be here to see it. But don't be afraid to stretch your YouTube chops. If you're an established creator, or if you are just someone with a ton of ideas in your head, you may have very many different interests. Now, you definitely don't want to jumble them all up on one channel, so branch them out. I know great creators who have multiple channels, like Calvert with 850 Club Credit, or Michael Wong with Wong Way Travels. Actually, changed his name from Wong Way Travels, but either way, I'll try to find the channels there. But have multiple channels. And speaking of that, I have to take my own advice and my own perspective. And it is my pleasure to announce to you that I have started a new YouTube channel. This is Chad's Money Minutes that we are on now, and the new channel is Chad's Money Travels, where my wife and I will be chronicling all of our travels. And it's still, I'm working it out. I'm still making it happen. Shooting travel videos is much different from shooting credit card videos. So it's kind of a start over point, even with the experience that I have in YouTube. But I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I have tons of material that I'm still clipping and editing, and content that I'm creating that I will be releasing there. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I appreciate you for sticking with me on Chad's perspectives. And with that, those are my perspectives for you guys. I want you to go ahead and ruminate on those. Think about it. Let me know what you think out in the comments. I always appreciate it. Now, here's my pointy thing, and I think one of these videos, probably this one, will be from the new channel, so you can check it out, just to give you an idea of what I'm working with here. But that's it. Take it easy.